All right, we're live.
Hey everyone, my name is B-Level Star Wars. I'm here with the Madman himself. And how should I go about this? Should I introduce it like nobody knows who I am, or
Sure. There's some people on my channel that don't know you yet. This is the first time you've been on my channel.
all right? So hey everyone, I'm B-Level Star Wars. I have my own channel, which hosts the Council and Exile podcast. So I'm the founder of that, as well as a co-host on the more political channel Ewoks Unhinged that I do with Dark Synovia. And I'm here today to talk to Mad Max. Some of you may have heard of the legend of the Phantom Menace Slayer. Some people say it was, ordained by the heavens. Others say it happened in a lab. Some people say it happened when I destroyed Jeremy's masculinity. Others say they woke up, it was all a meme, and some say you just wouldn't get the joke. So, as always with many origin stories, mine will remain multiple choice. And the Fandom Menace Slayer here is today. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's something my viewers called me, I guess, because they called Iron Inquisitor the Plinkett Slayer. So they're like, B-Level's the Fandom Menace Slayer. And I'm here today to talk about the Phantom Alliance, Grey Order, many other things, fandoms, and whatnot. Basically, my real origin story was I got my start. So I was a Star Wars fan of the 2000s, growing up in the kind of golden era of the expanded universe. The prequels were coming out. My interest in Star Wars kind of declined towards the latter part of the decade with the CG Clone Wars not really interesting me, although I did really love Force Unleashed. And yeah, throughout 2010s, I wasn't super into Star Wars. Then I saw Last Jedi. I'm like, oh, this is pretty bad. And it kind of reinvigorated me to go back into the expanded universe. And in the year following Last Jedi, I worked on this prequel fan edit that was kind of in the style of the Oral Knots. I was very passionate about that. And last December, I uploaded on YouTube, and Disney took it down because of copyright. And I've been doing more fandom commentary videos since then. And somewhere along the way, I became the Phantom Menace Slayer. So that's the origin story. Thanks for having me on, Max.
Oh, sure. I'm still having trouble. I don't remember where I edit the thumbnail. I apologize.
We can add it after. We did have a pretty entertaining thumbnail.
Yeah, I really want to include it. You know what? I'm fumbling hard as hell today. That's the problem. I'm off today. Maybe all this being on Twitter last night screwed me up.
There was, man, a lot of controversy before this. Like, a lot of people did not want to have this to happen, mainly Grey Order people, which was kind of surprising because they're the ones who were facilitating conversation.
Yeah, I've had so much frustration behind the scenes with the Grey Order, just trying to have a conversation. Honestly, I did my due diligence to see if they have something to offer, and the only thing I've seen since they started this was that we have to take the T-shirts down because it's not enough within fair use. It's just copying, and then we got important stuff behind the scenes, and here's a preview of the T-shirt.
Man, I'm like, so we were coming on here today to originally talk about the Phantom Alliance, and of course, Grey Order is kind of a counterpoint to that because it's another order or movement going on. Don't get me started about the name, by the way. As a hardcore Star Wars fan, I'm going to lambast the name in a couple minutes, but first I'm just going to talk about Grey Order. And I really didn't have a ton of negativity or hostility towards them until I tried to reach out and have a conversation. Then that radically shifted my view of them. Before I'm like, it's kind of milquetoast, kind of hashtag lame order.
Yeah.
I don't like mocking, but it
was gentle poking. If they can't handle that, oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, I mean these people they cannot handle an abrasive tone, and I don't think myself or our rep on Twitter was that abrasive or anything.
No.
But they're very milquetoast. It's no wonder they don't say anything controversial against the Menace because they're just not combative people, which is fine. But man, they should get a Council and Exile off the books meeting with me, Dark Synovia, and General CJG.
I don't agree with everything you guys say either, but to say you don't align with me, you have to prove yourself before I'll talk to you is goddamn ridiculous. It's a great echo chamber. How the hell do you know how it's going to go until we actually have a conversation?
Yeah, it's very sterile. They don't want any engaging personalities, but when you have everybody being boring, that's called the mainstream media. Like no one wants to watch that stuff, man.
But that's why I really want to talk to you about the differences between the Fandom Alliance and the War Council, because I know you have some agendas with this stream fee level.
Oh yeah.
But I have to kind of disappoint you because Angus does not want to be Fandom Alliance.
Okay.
But the thing that I've been striving here for YouTube for a freaking year is talking to as many people as possible.
Right.
And the idea of a war council is that everyone on the council is not going to be Fandom Alliance. Like so check your weapons. Menace Slayer, put your weapons down when you enter the Council of War.
Don't worry, man. The hidden blades are staying under the sleeves. I
know. Look, here's the Angus in the room.
Well, one thing I'm gonna say before we go on is I do want to talk about Angus in depth, but I want to talk about it a bit later, and I want to brace people because when we do come to talk about Angus, I'm kind of giving a little warning right now. I'm going to use some very strong language.
Well, don't make it too strong. I don't want my stream taken down.
Don't worry, Matt. I mean, I don't know. I can't guarantee it. But I'm going to use some very strong language, but it's not meant to be random or insulting, like the Grey Order was towards our Twitter rep. It's meant to carry the weight of the impact. I'm gonna warn again before. Anyway, we'll do that later in the stream.
Well, I want to say the CJH. I'd love to have you on, but this is kind of like we're ironing out details about the Fandom Alliance, and I know you don't necessarily consider yourself Fandom Alliance or even Fandom Alliance curious. So I'm going to have other streams this weekend that you could join in. And then Snowdub is here. And he definitely considers himself Fandom Alliance. So if you're okay with having him on later, we can maybe...
Yeah, man, I know he's like your lieutenant in all this, and I'm definitely down. And I listened to him talk in a previous stream you had, and I don't know a ton about Snowdub like in his past, but he sounded like very like committed to a positive future in the Alliance, and that's the type of person that I'm interested in talking to.
So I will send him an invite. Because
let's do it in like half an hour. I do want to do some one-on-one because
all right.
And thank you for inviting the rest of the Council in Exile. I really appreciate it. They kind of elected me as like the guy to come in and be the spokesperson. And for anybody who doesn't know what the Council in Exile is, it's basically what the Grey Order said they wanted to do, minus the elitism. It's like fans, we have a bunch of different opinions on Star Wars. We have some people who love Last Jedi, some people hate it, some people who are passionate about different elements of the EU. And one thing I want to stress that I feel like the establishment EU movement doesn't make very clear for people who aren't familiar with the expanded universe. Because I'm primarily an EU fan, but I am checking out new stuff in the canon, like the Mandalorian, some of the books and comics.
Oh, don't spoil! I forgot. I didn't watch the new episode yet, so don't spoil anything for me.
Well, I heard the Fandom Menace was freaking out about it, so I'm like, this new episode must be awesome. No, jokes no, we're going to do a rant on that on Ewoks Unhinged, which we might do later if we have time, but I really want to prioritize this conversation. Like, I had like a bunch of things tonight. Like, I could have done Ewoks Unhinged. I could have done like, my usual thing. I got invited to an expanded universe stream as the like token EU person. And then, could play video games, whatever, book, date, whatever, what have you. But I'm like, I want to be on this because this is like the most important thing for fandom tonight.
Well, one thing that differentiates us right away from the Grey Order is we want to talk to everyone. Absolutely. Snowdub is all about, he's like, I don't care what you believe. If you want to talk to us, we want to talk to you, contact me. Yeah. So that's a big difference.
Like I swooped in this morning and basically I saw, so for anybody that doesn't know, the Council in Exile Twitter, it's meant to be like, it's just like promoting video, kind of like what that Fandom Collective does. It just promotes videos for the council members. Much thanks to my man Zach for running that. Man, Zach was getting like hammered in the DM by the Gray Order. I had to step in. I'm like, dude, just you can't reason with these people. Anyway, but I did make 3 tweets this morning. I don't usually do the tweets on them myself, but I made 3 tweets in your defense. Well, I copied to Zach and he posted them. And basically just calling out the Gray Order, basically telling them that like, hey, they shouldn't be mad at you because you're putting in the groundwork. You're working every day to build up the alliance. You're reaching out to people. That's what a leader does. Josh is expecting everyone to come to him, and I'm like, that's not what a leader does.
Well,
like, me and you have done that respectively.
To typical YouTube BS, I'm too busy. You have a social media person just on your Twitter, and then you have your other group, the Gray Order YouTube channel. The only reason I mentioned sub count is I was saying if you only have 300 subs, there's very few comments on your videos, and you can't say I'll think about it because I said, hey, I'd like to come on because of behind the scenes emails. I was talking with Josh.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to reveal the private emails, but he said I don't necessarily want you on my channel because he called me a goddamn bad actor. And he said, but maybe we'll have you on another channel. So I reached out to the smaller channels and they ignore me. I reached out on Twitter, and then the official Den of Nerds Twitter, it's like an outsourced customer service. Have you tried emailing us? Yes, I did 3 weeks ago. Yes.
Man, usually if it's emailing in modern day, that usually means I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
That's usually
right. So you get to the point. It's a goddamn circle, like a horrible customer service experience. In a big. Listen, and you have 100. You have 100K subs. Great job, Josh. There's no reason if you're starting a movement to let conversations go stale. I said the last email I sent. He said we'll try to work something out next coming weeks, and then I sent him a link of my Star Wars only collab, and this is like I can bring it down a little bit, and I'm not a character. I know you said that, but I bring it down a little bit so we can have a conversation. And I said, here's an example of how our conversation could be. Never got a response.
I sent the same guy your appearance on Council in Exile last month, where I gave mad credit to you because everybody knows, like, you know, I'm a lefty and you got some anti-SJW views, but we sat down and we talked about like big issues in fandom. We're talking like corporate consolidation, money, sterilization of art. Like, we were talking like heavy stuff that most people who, you know, like in the Fandom Menace or who maybe like center or right leaning will never ever have a conversation with me about. You had that conversation. I made that a point to them and say like, hey man, like, you know, like maybe some like lefties are like uncommon in geek culture, but Max had that conversation with me and Dark Zenobia, the unhinged Ewoks, and we talked about the biggest issues facing geek culture, and Max was open-minded and we were open to him, and we realized there's a lot of things that people may be looking at from different angles that were actually kind of the similar stances and stuff. Like, for example, when we talked about you know, characters where they like, for example, like when you talk about what you call quote unquote like forced diversity or whatever, but for us, we're talking about like when there's tokenism, which is basically when they're like disrespecting characters, and we realized we were both talking about the same thing but using different terminology. Like, we don't agree with like the term forced diversity, which doesn't make a ton of sense, but like the term about like tokenizing, like for example, for myself, for like someone's like, you know, like so like on my dad's side, like South Asian, right? Like Bodhi Rook, played by Reza Ahmed. Reza Ahmed was not happy with how they portrayed Bodhi Rook. And like, those are interesting conversations to have. But the Fandom Menace is so, you know, like binary in the discussion. Like, we had a really nuanced conversation, and that's something that just does not happen a lot in fandom. And I gave the Gray Order credit. I'm like, you're talking all this, or I gave you credit to the Gray Order. Like, they're talking all this stuff about conversations and hearing different points. I'm like, Max did that, and they're not even going to give the dude the time of day. They're not going to bother watching the stream just because he called them out for their drifting t-shirt.
Well, I've never seen so much action. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Drunk 3PO. He's one of the good ones, I think. He's a nice guy, and I love your Popeye's chicken videos, and I want to see more. I want to see more.
Okay, can I show something really quick? I'm gonna change my avatar for 3PO here.
You like that drunk?
It's straight edge 3PO. It's off the straight edge Ben Havard, and he's got the X's. I was gonna do sober 3PO, but this is not funny. Anyway, I just wanted to give that shout out right there.
All right. I'm honestly frustrated because I just wanted to have a simple conversation on a smaller channel, because Josh behind the scenes, I'm not going to publicly show the emails because that's lame. But he basically said, I don't feel comfortable having you on my channel.
Right.
So that's why I reached out to the smaller channels. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to have a conversation. So let's go do it. And then I followed every member on Twitter. I think I direct messaged some of them. And now this Dark Loogie.
That dude, yeah.
He acts like he wrote a goddamn manifesto tweeting that I'll never be on his channel, and how I shouldn't feel entitled to it, because you said when you announced your order that you want to talk to people no matter how small.
Yeah. So here's the thing about that channel, right? So our Twitter dude Zach was going back and forth. I read the DMs. I was shocked, man. I'm like, I can't show these because it's against my principle to just show private messages in a standard context. And I feel like things are still, like, it's not like, for example, we had somebody who was a member of the Council in Exile named Callum Jones. He used to be part of us. And when we started going up against Jeremy, Callum was kind of like, oh, I don't want to be involved in this. And he was kind of trying to play the center, but he was secretly really like a Fandom Menace sympathizer. But we didn't realize that at the time. Then he went off. So he quit our server. I never kicked him out, actually. I did jokingly give him the title in Discord on the council, but not a master, which might have rubbed some feathers the wrong way. But Callum went out later and he started talking all this crap about us, like saying like, oh, we shut down opinions, we're gatekeepers, and we're like, what? Like we were shocked because we were very nice to him, and me and CJG respectively had very long, in-depth conversations with Callum, and we thought that counted for something, but I don't know, he just like thought Jeremy meant more to him, even though he didn't know Jeremy personally, but we knew him semi-personally at that point. Anyway, but Callum, he started talking all this crap about us. Then he was going to do some like collab with Angus that was going to like be like slaughtering the younglings or something, and we were the younglings. And I'm like, how does this make you look good? And it never happened. But but when Callum was saying the stuff that just was not true about us, I went into a video and actually showed some private conversations because he was saying stuff that was just directly false. And it was important to me at the time in the EU community for people to know what was up, because there was more at stake. And this was before the Fandom Menace engulfed the EU community. But I don't like doing this. I don't like that was like, code black, threat level midnight. And the only other time I ever showed a private thing was when Ryan Kinnell leaked some of our private conversations out of context. And that's the thing. If I show something, it's full context, even if it's stuff that makes us look more, like if there's a sassy tweet that somebody might interpret as us being more aggressive or whatever, I'll show the whole thing. So with Ryan Kinnell, I showed the whole messages because he leaked part of it that was trying to make me look like a off the hinge SJW type person, right? And I'm like, then I can see if you take that context when I'm like, denounce the Fandom Menace, do this, do that. I'm like, but I literally listed some like really terrible things they did like right before that, but he just cut like the part where it just made me seem like I was coming out of the gate at like 100. And so I showed that because he showed part of it out of context. But like, for example, with the Grey Council person, I'm not going to do that right now because one, like, he hasn't leaked anything. He hasn't said anything bad about us publicly yet. And he also, he's not technically in the same movement where Callum was in the same circles as us, so it was kind of necessary. But Grey Order, anyway, when I looked at his DMs, I was floored, man. Like, our guy Zach's just trying to talk to him, like, hey, would you want to talk to B-Level? Would you want to talk with the Council in Exile? our councils, our goals are actually aligned with the Grey Orders. And he's just like, stop messaging me. You support Max. You're with Max. So then our guy kind of replies saying, hey, you said you don't want people to make you and Josh anonymous, but you're making us and Max anonymous.
Yeah.
To be fair, Max isn't a Council and Exile member yet. He's been on our, he's collab.
Here's the thing. I said, I'm warning you, I'm persistent as hell, and they still,
yeah.
You know what? I get mad. Here's the secret behind Midnight Madness. I film it right before I take my medicine. And I'm at night, I'm hot, and it's unfiltered completely. On live streams, I tone it down because I want you to talk, and I'll just be talking over you screaming, which is fine for my Midnight Madness. But I was pissed because no one ignores the Mando. No one ignores the Mando, and I get my bounty. And you don't treat typical YouTube BS. Oh, I was so busy, I couldn't respond. You see how many responses he's given in the last 24 hours? He needs to get off the internet now. Go spend time with your girlfriend, Dark Loogie. Dark Loogie, go spend some time with your girlfriend. And I was being nice because it was the holidays. That wasn't me at 11. You don't want to see me at 11.
Man, I mean, like, there's one person who's seen me at 11, and it was like Star Killer and Force Unleashed 1 when he fought Vader. There's one person. And then it was a private phone call. People in Exile know what it's about. It was someone in the EU community. Nobody even knows who this is.
This is how full of it Dark Loogie is. He says he tried to watch my videos and he fell asleep. Now, you might hate my videos. You may hate my videos, but you're not falling asleep with me screaming at the camera. And then he blanket stated my channel as just Jeremy Hate. He has no context. I made videos when the Menace of Fandom did something, so I made a response. Anytime they do something stupid, then I'm going to comment it. Just like we could treat Kathy, Disney, Lucasfilm, when they mess up, you can't give people a free pass because they're on Team YouTube or Team Menace. So I go after everyone when they mess up. And that doesn't, you go after me too, but there's few takers, I'll tell you that.
And I for me,
Kermit the Log.
Well, I was gonna say too is, man, you're like an abrasive piece of music that people will like, even if they don't dig it, they'll be like, I'm paying attention.
So I know you have an agenda to cancel Angus.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay,
a bit more to talk about the Grey Order.
I'll tell you. I'll give you a little preview though. My brothers in the alliance that have given themselves all to it is Snowdub and Chubby Teddy. So nothing happens without
Max,
they get a vote.
Good job, man. You have 2 people. Josh only has 1, so you're already ahead. Well, he had 2, but he lost 1.
And you know what? Darth Loogie acts like no one reached out to me. The guy that left his order commented on my videos that he wanted to talk.
Yeah, like Darth.
And I kind of have a feeling that wanting to talk to everyone was part of the reason he left. He's like, you know what? They just want to do their own their gray echo chamber.
He is so not even passive aggressive. He's just straight up aggressive. Where like it escalated with our Twitter guy, where our Twitter guy's just like, "Yo, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk?" And the guy's just like, it increased to the point where he's just slandering, he's just like swearing at the dude. And I told the guy, Zach, like, "Hey man, just like chill out. I'll talk to the guy." So I go in his comments, type something up,
and he didn't respond to you either.
No, he did. He's
eventually,
like, your Twitter guy is being very disrespectful. He wanted to come on my channel. You people want to join the Grey Order, and I'm the Grey Council. I'm like, whoa, dude. Like, look, man, like we have like our council. We thought your council wants to do a similar thing. Our council's been doing this for like months, man. We've been doing this since like June, where we've been bringing on canon fans and EU fans and talk about lore. Like we've been doing that. Like we've actually done something. We've actually helped to bring EU and canon fans together. And I don't see a ton of people doing that in like Star Wars Theory, maybe. And to an extent, Star Wars Explained does cover some legends, but Explained does in a way where he still kind of levels canon as better, but like we're doing it in a holistic way. And it's like if Grey Order, like Second Street Marvel's a moron. Okay, that dude's just like an idiot. Like I read what he
Oh
wrote.
no. Second Street's
He's
a
a
good guy.
moron, man. Dude. No way. He's an idiot. Like I read what he said. Dude,
I invite him on the War Council this Sunday. He's the most
B-level thinks he's a moron.
You know what? Listen. Second Street. He's not Jeremy levels, but he's different on Twitter than having a conversation. You can check out his videos. He's a very
so here you see what I mean, right? Like the stuff I say off screen is the same on screen.
Yeah.
Like,
he only takes it so much to Twitter. Yeah. He just is having fun.
But I'll say stuff because I'm independent. I'm not careerist. I'll just say whatever I want on streams or on videos. No, right? But Ryan Kittle. Okay.
You say Ryan Kittle, right? Go back to Second Street. If you say Second Street, my chat, if something's wrong with him, my chat's going to go crazy because everyone loves Second Street. Okay. He's a genuine guy, and he's the one gray order guy that actually talks to you. So
Second Street
the War Council, I said I want to have people check their weapons at the door and come into the council board, and he's my one gray order guy that I could get to show up.
But he said he would rather work with the Fandom Menace than the Council of Exile, and I'm like, dude.
No, that's Darth Loogie that said that.
No, this is Second Street, man. He said it in the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Actually, I want to see 6-hour live stream of Kathy.
Okay.
And Jeremy going at each other too. If they can make that happen, I'd like to see that.
I approve this tweet, right? We had a tweet today, and this is historical. I'm not like making this stuff up, man.
All right.
Okay. So I said, yeah, we're talking history, man. Second Street. It's funny. People always tell me when I mention like historical stuff, they're just like, "Come on, guys, cool," or it's like, or like stuff like, "You need to read up history." I'm like, yeah, Odin, you need to go read your Bible. If you don't practice anything you preach.
Oh, you know what? Screw Odin. I don't give a crap about Odin.
Yeah, man, that's just like one of those pretend Christians from America. I'm not saying everyone is.
I told you, you got mad respect for Second Street in the chat. He's had me on his channel.
Okay.
And
you're right. Like the Twitter is pretty impersonal.
Right.
And,
okay. So he was just making a joke to try. He's actually trying to try to smooth things over a little bit and just have fun with it.
Right. Okay. You know what? When I called him a moron, I gotta talk to him first. Because I was like
B level. This is why you need to come on the War Council and talk to people that you disagree with, because this is the gangsta shit that everyone thinks they're doing and they're not. And this is what we're providing on the War Council. Yeah. Snow Dub knows what I'm talking about. This is real gangsta shit. Oh, and yeah, sub the Snow.
Anyway, I was gonna say like the dude. I was basically I was busy, but our Twitter guy was. Our Twitter is not meant for beef, and it kind of got a bit out of hand today because I'm like, you know what? Let's comment on this fandom stuff. Like, if we're just talking about a small point here or there, I'd rather address things like that in videos. But oh, they're freaking out about the Mandalorian, so I'll make a video on it and stuff.
Oh, I really want to watch the episode now. Now that you're saying that.
Yeah, but I wanted to I wanted to like, sorry, I'm blanking out here. Yeah, I was trying to tell we were trying to tell that Second Street dude, we're like, yo, like even if you have like beef with Max, like we're like, he said something like, oh, you people only talk about Jeremy 24/7, and then Zach shared a screenshot on my channel where it's got like a bunch of Mandalorian reviews, a Fallen Order stream, another Mandalorian stream. Even when we were dissing Jeremy in a video, we talked extensively about KOTOR, so we always find a way to fit in the lore. So it's like to say that like I get that argument back when the EU Community Gate was what do we call it? EU Movement Gate or some kind of gate, right? It's always got to be a gate. But EU Community Gate was happening, and I was doing a lot of videos saying like, don't trust Ryan Kittle. You know, we got to stay independent, because to me, the independence of the EU community as an entity non-tainted by the Phantom Menace. That was important, right?
Honestly, I'm a little disappointed by Mr. EU Muscles with all the I Stand streams. It's just I'm sorry, drunk if you're still with me. I'm sorry I'm talking about your man Kennel, but it's the I Stand Together because we're upset about tweets with all these twits, is is ridiculous, and it's
these people live
lame.
on Twitter, bro. These people live on Twitter.
Well, the live streams.
There's like hundreds of tweets about our stream today.
I'm surprised they don't get. I'm surprised they don't get more tweets with the amount of time they spend on there. They're just looking for it, and if you're really upset about a tweet, you don't retweet it. You just block the person and move on. Like, every time they say a stream that says, "Oh, look what this person did," they're just asking for someone else to do it.
Yeah,
it's just.
I blocked that dude Milan Kulik or whatever, who he basically worships the incel queen. So he started like.
He. I'll tell you something about. Maybe I shouldn't.
He's on this white knight quest.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's sent me private messages before, and he loves to watch. He loves to grab the popcorn and watch people go at it. He loves the drama, so he flames the fires on both sides to watch. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say.
Like, I used to dig, like, comment arguments. I used to find that really funny. But I'm like, it's just, like, the novelty does wear off. So that's why I have somebody else doing the Twitter, right? But I'm like, but for my own, I also answer my own comments. And basically, I'm trying to make the main channel, like, the, like, lore-centric, let's talk Star Wars. And then drama goes on Unhinged. And I do some memes on Twitter, like, some fact-checking memes. Like, if somebody says, oh, there's no jetpacks in Star Wars or what have you, and I'd be like, well, Commander Cody had a jetpack in Revenge of the Sith. That's in the movie. Also, I guess we count Filoni's Clone Wars, right? Like, they have jetpacks there. I know some people said the jetpacks were not necessarily about their inclusion, but whether Poe knew or didn't about it. I mean, I'll be real, I don't keep up with every canon or canon book or comic. Like, it doesn't really fit in well with, as we saw with Last Jedi. They don't really include that stuff in the movies anyway. But yeah, Grey Order. What do we say about Grey Order? Yeah, but they're just really. What I notice is when I talk to the Grey Council guy, it's just extremely hostile towards if you want to talk. Like, if you're like, hey, we want to talk, they get more mad. It's like, wait, isn't your community all about talking and stuff? Like it's like we're doing like, because I said I want to come on and give him advice, just like I want to give you advice today. And he's just like, why do I need your advice? I'm like, well, I don't know, because we're actually doing semi-successfully what you claim to want to do. Like, Billy, Robosonic, Yumi, Dark Synovia. Like, that was like, I'm gonna post clips of that, by the way.
I told Josh in private emails, I've like, don't be playing dumb like you didn't see that first haters stream with me and Jeremy, and then you coming in later and acting like you're being innovative. People were doing this way before you were, and then he's on. Yeah. He's on with Jeremy. See what conversations could be like. I'm like, you make me want to puke.
Yeah, man. Jeranos did that. Yeah. If we want to talk about like the original, like Jeranos was the first guy to do that. Man,
I sent him an email. I haven't heard back. He replied to a comment. But I think he's a little bit less on YouTube right now.
Yeah, he started a new job recently. Yeah. He's got kids. Like he's a responsible guy.
Sure.
So, and same thing with Peyton Place is pretty busy.
Yeah.
I will give some small advice. Peyton's very nice. Like I've talked to her a couple times. Very nice person. Her mods, I think, sometimes speak for her without consulting her, so they'll kind of lead you on saying like they'll, in their opinion, and it's a rightful opinion a lot of time, think that like, oh, these collabs would be good, but when you talk to her, she'd be like, oh, that's great that they suggested you, but she doesn't know herself,
right?
So they might lead you
I could see that. She said she'd still talk to me. She says I sent her links. I'm like, StreamYard's the way to do it. So we still might collab, but she's also busy on the weekends because of her job. That's
I know she Star Wars. Sorry, all the nicknames are blurring into one. That incel girl or whatever her name is, or that's Star Wars Queen or what. I'm sorry, it's just blurring again. It's just blurring.
Go ahead. I don't censor you here. Do whatever you want.
But that's Anna, whatever her name is. Anna went after Peyton. And it's just like, man, Anna is like probably one of the most sensitive people I've ever seen. Jesse Milestone comes in a close second. Jeremy wins, though.
Jeremy watches everything about him. He bitch watches it and doesn't comment or talk in the comments.
No,
it's either that or lethal. Because now I saw a video where Jeremy's on the Fandom Collective channel saying what they're about. And I said, you haven't been supporting the Fandom Collective.
We got another pretend Christian in the chat, Steven the Illustrator.
Oh.
Bible school, man. No, for real. I mean, I actually have Christians in my family, so that are, you know, this. I did some spiel like on Ewoks on a Hinge, some more political channel, and my stance on faith. I'm like, yo, there are people, you know, peaceful and doing good things for themselves. Then there are people oppressing people, you know, and using scripture for bad. And I'm like, yo, Stephen Waynard gets just when you are. There you go, man. This sounds like an unoriginal attack. I mean, when you merge with
well, this is crazy today. I've never had so much. Man, people want to tash it out. That's good.
Man, I guess I can see why. I'm like I was going to the stream and thinking, because Dark Zenobia always jokes. He always jokes that like, why am I the most hated of us two? Because he's way more like yells in videos, and then I'm going to this. I'm like, yeah, why am I like the most like one of the most controversial? Like me and you are probably two of the most controversial Star Wars YouTubers. Yeah. And I got on here and I'm just like interactive in the chat. I'm like, oh, this is why.
Oh boy, drunk. Hey, all right, I got to reply. Drunk took that a little. He didn't like that comment.
I didn't say that about him.
No, I know, but he's saying, "Are you serious?" And
I am, yeah. I think the guy's a charlatan, man. And again, I'm not gonna you, man. And hey, man, you're pretty liberal with the booze. You know, the 3PO is a bit drunk. You know, like you don't seem like a very constricted person.
Oh, I haven't seen Angus yet in the chat.
Well, on Council Next, I like this too because I've been doing more formal videos, reviews, and like stuff like that. So it's fun to just like kind of joke around and like honestly, the Fandom Menace cringe reacts are so fun to do. But it's like, you know, you look kind of immature if you do that all the time. But it's like, man, if I was to go back in time to the places where I've ever been going through a period of like depression, man, I would just show myself like Fandom Menace clips and be like, look at this cringe. Laughter is the best medicine, you know what I mean? Oh. Like as bad as they say the internet and YouTube can be for mental health, it can also be pretty darn funny. Yeah. You just kind of need to have like a thick skin, you know what I mean? Like, but.
Oh. I don't know where we go now, B-Level. What do we want to talk? Where we want to head this conversation?
So, man, I guess we could talk a bit more about Grey Order because I think we're still kind of on
that.
Like here's what I think. It's like, look, your like Phantom Alliance is bigger than the Grey Order in terms of numbers of active content creators. Exile is like way bigger if we talk about like content creators. I don't know who's in the Grey Order. I did a video earlier this week. It was as milquetoast as the Grey Order itself. I'm just like, what's up?
Well, Second Street
so he's
been talking about this. He's privately to me. He's been talking about a potential group for a while, and that's why I wanted to look into it because I value Second Street's opinion. But Second Street should be leading it up because then it would have some momentum.
He's more charismatic,
right? Because Darth Loogie. And
he just scared off the other dude in the Grey Council.
I think so because that other guy looked cool. He had some sunglasses on, a leather jacket. I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
Can we get this guy back? Can we get him for the Phantom Alliance?
I don't. There might be something. I don't want to go into his personal stuff. I have no idea what's going on with him, but he's kind of like went off the face of the planet.
Okay.
Like he doesn't even have a Twitter anymore, so I have no idea.
Man, after EU Community Gate, that's what I wanted to do. I was just like,
so I think he. Honestly, I think the Grey Order is just
it's running out of fumes.
It's to fuel T-shirt sales and Patreon of the Den of Nerds. Not exactly top tier, but everyone that's been associated with it so far has been a Patreon supporter.
Yeah,
so they don't really. So it's actually a public service I'm doing is saying, you know what? I've tried to work with the Grey Order, and this is what you get. Unless you're a Patreon supporter or kiss so much ass, then you're not going to be able to talk to them. You have to really kiss ass, and that's not me. So
Man, yeah, I really dislike. I had a good conversation with Dark Sinovia the other day about geek culture, and we just talked about geek culture. It is a huge cowardice culture problem. And I think this is strongly correlated with submissiveness that I see just prevalent in geek culture. And I think what this comes down to is I think a lot of people in geek culture were at some point, maybe when they're younger, like bullied because they were a geek or something, right? And a lot of these people, they've never stood up for themselves in their life. It's cringe, man. It's cringe. And when it comes to standing up for other people, in their past life, they were probably too afraid to get picked on themselves and didn't do it. And this is why they don't do it now. Whereas I've always been the person where, like, man, if I see someone else being picked on, I'm going to jump in there. Like, I was the freaking Fandom Menace Slayer in elementary school and high school, man. Man, like, I was like, this has always been my thing. Like, jumping in there for the person that is the odd one out. Because I felt like the odd one out too, you know? And if you don't have solidarity, if you don't have people, like, having an alliance and looking out for each other, like, you know, you're just out there on your own. And but geek culture, there are these very cowardice people. Like, it's funny, Fandom Menace, they talk about beta this, beta that, beta level soy wars. And it's funny because, like, man, EU community, what's their names, Twin Sons, they threatened to, like, dox us all. They threatened to, like, sue us all over just the Fall of Matt Wilkins podcast. And I'm like, we didn't even back down from that. And it's like, so people are talking about like spine and all this, and I'm like, look at our track record, man. Every step of the way, you know, Scones Cantina mass harassed, the Incel Queens Incel Army mass harassed. Like, I've been mass harassed so many times.
Oh boy,
it's like I've been immortalized practically. So it's like, for all the people, like, I think this is why a lot of people have a strong disdain towards me. It's because I think secretly, I'm not saying like they want to be me, but they want to be like that, or they want to be the person who just says whatever the heck they want, doesn't care if they're going to get mass harassed, but they don't because they're afraid they're going to get, you know, harassed and stuff. I think it comes in the punk rock in me too, because I really got into like punk and hardcore in high school and stuff. Like, it more like
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think like the attitude in that is just like it's just like, screw it, I'm going to say what I want and whatever comes at me. That's like the punk rock mindset. And I think because I have that coupled with my love of geek culture, in the same way Jerno's Comics has hip hop and geek culture that really informs his outlook on things.
I want to give a shout out to Relapse. I'm trying to work with him soon. I think I might stream with him the next couple of days. So
DOA.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I get that feeling. Like the thing is, what we were basically. I'm gonna give a politics example. I'm sorry for people who don't want to hear about politics, and CJH is gonna love this. Get ready for some Antifa examples. Okay. So,
oh boy.
Basically, what we are equivalent to, if the Fandom Menace are like, you know, because when I talk about punk and hardcore, right? There was a white power skinhead movement in the 80s and early 90s that was prevalent in punk. Like, you know, Dead Kennedys have a song like Nazi Punk Screw Off. There's a lot of references to this type of stuff, right? And it was a prevalent in the scene, and then in the early 2000s, early 90s, the scene got together and kicked these white power people to the door. And the scene is healthy today, man. The scene's doing good with young people right now. But imagine if like white power people took it over, right? One, the music would suck. Two, it just like it would have died out, right? It would have died out. But geek culture is going through this problem right now. I know this sounds hyperbolic to people who are like, wait, what? Dark Snowy and I, we're gonna expose some like Nazi dog whistling in the Yoda ASMR community. It's insane. Kent Mansley.
Here's where we can get to our disagreement.
They're talking about okay. Look at this video. Yoda commits a mass genocide.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying about the actual.
Like, they're using furries, but they're prefacing furries to be the stand-in. And anyway, Ewoks Unhinged. Get ready. We're gonna expose the Yoda ASMR community for Nazi dog whistle. Anyway, I'm gonna reel it back a bit. But basically, what I'm saying is Fandom Menace, I view them as a white power movement. You know, people can, you know, Max, you can have your opinion.
Here's where I got a counterpoint because I got to defend people watching too. I don't. Here's my big difference with you guys. All right, this is my big difference with you guys. I don't think that they are, but they kiss the ass of hate just like Campia kisses Disney's ass with not everyone, with some of the content, the political barking, the dog whistling, including even the screaming SJW in the thumbnails, is just a signal, a dog whistle to go and hate on this and make fun of it. Now, there's also, okay, if that's what you do every once in a while, that's different. But if it's in every single video, the same talking points, if you're only exercising your right to be an asshole, that's a great right. But that's all you're about, then you're just an asshole.
And dude, your assessment is just as valid. Like I totally agree with your assessment. Maybe I'm going like extra steps, looking more like conspiracy. Conspiracy theory. But what I'm trying to say is like, because like we kind of what I'm trying to tie this to the Den of Nerds is basically like the Fandom Menace is like the most ugly. Let's just say like we can all agree the Menace is the most ugly side of fandom. Like it's the most ugly.
Yeah, they're self-proclaimed menace, and this part of what I'm doing here is marketing. I took marketing a while ago. Okay. Embracing their name because they identify as a menace and using it against them is the smartest thing you could do. Yes, they are a menace. Do you want a menace in fandom? Hell no.
Yeah.
Do you want it on any side of the fandom? Hell no. Call them what they are, a menace.
Right.
Are you a fan or are you a menace?
Yeah,
that's that easy.
So what I was gonna try to say is like me and Dark Zenobia, right? You could say we're like the Antifa of Star Wars or whatever, right? And basically we were at one time there were channels like probably Den of Nerds that approved secretly what we were doing, fighting the Fandom Menace, because nobody was fighting the Menace at the time. This would be like circa 2017, Antifa versus neo-Nazis, right? The mainstream media, like CNN, they were, permissive.
Oh, you're gonna get a lot of love saying you're like Antifa. So I'm just preparing you.
Yeah, no, man. I understand.
Oh, this is going to grow great.
So how many people have Antifa killed? Okay. Anyway, so basically, right,
oh my god,
what about the death statistics, man? Show me the death statistics. Okay, but it's 0. But anyway, so in the early,
hey, there you go, Kermit the Log got it, Fantifa.
Yeah, dude, he's like a cousin of Pepe, man. Of course, he's gonna be.
Oh my god,
right, idiot.
Oh, I'm dying here. Oh my god!
And people said left is gonna be funny.
Oh.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is
you got the comment of the stream, Kermit.
we were fighting the Menace, right? And so we were like the anti-Menace group. And for a time, the bigger groups, like the mainstream, were like that we were doing that because they didn't have to. They didn't have to address it. It could just be us. But then when they start to, it comes around to their time to cash in. I'm going to explain the cash in part. So the cash in for, quote, unquote, fighting fascism is the election. So the Democrats, they're like, yo, vote Joe Biden. Joe Biden is Josh, the most lame milquetoast candidate, right? So you're just see people. I don't like Democrats. I slam Republicans.
Hey, if you want to make the gray order sexy, you put Second Street as your guy, not Darth Loogie and Josh from the nerd. Nerd den.
The mainstream when they're done with the people on the grassroots and the groundwork, they want to take credit for it, and that's what Josh is doing. And Josh is
he's stepping out when it's safe.
Josh just has like a lame. He just is like a lame take on it's just like how people feel with Joe Biden. Like this isn't going to be fascism. Everything's just going to be the same, right? Like this is how people feel about Josh. And look, I'm giving an example where I slammed neo-Nazis. I just slammed Joe Biden. I slammed everything. So everyone can find something to relate to. Anyway, I'm done the politics spiel, but I just want to
thank you.
Me and you,
because the chat's going crazy.
Me and you. Dude, me and you, we're like, I know you don't maybe, like in real life, you don't think of Antifa, but me and you were the
here's another way I differ from you because we got to get to this point.
Okay.
I'm not about canceling people. I'm about canceling the menace, the movement.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to cancel Jeremy altogether. I don't, but he's done the most to harm the movement.
But we do.
So that's why I don't think, like Angus,
okay, we're gonna.
He's done some. Oh, even you. I've got to be fair, B level. You've done. I mean, I'm not innocent either. I've probably done things you don't like. I'm not gonna cancel Angus because of one mistake he made, which I don't. I think it was a mistake.
Oh, dude, he made mistakes this morning, man.
And
what he did this morning was actually.
But I honestly, he probably, and here's Steven the illustrator. Here's where Steven the illustrator, this whole situation, this is where I think it went wrong. Okay, it's your right to do a parody of a logo, okay? But putting the fandom first when someone at an existing group before you said, we'd rather not have you do this, you exercise, this is right, this is fair use, which is cool, but it's also putting that ahead of the fandom for a group that was already there. And the Menace of fandom always puts themselves first ahead of, I think she didn't, when she, from what I know, she approached the Menace in a nice way and say, I'd rather not be associated with you, please don't. And I think that should have been considered more at least.
Yeah. I agree. So
it's putting your rights above the fandom.
We need to think outside of the Menace and how people look at the Menace. Most people, yeah, don't worry, this fool will stay on the stream for a while.
No, I don't like to kick people. The CJH, I'll talk to you again. I honestly, the way you guys are going towards, I don't think we'll have a civil conversation if I bring you on right now. I agree with your right to defend your friends, though. So I hear you, but we have to get to B-Level specifically wanted to stream to air out some. He's interested. I gotta finish this. He's interested in the Fandom Alliance. He has some reservations. So he asked to work on this collab to work it out. So the stream is mostly dedicated to him and his followers that are Fandom Alliance curious.
You say Fandom Alliance adjacent at this point? Like we're adjacent?
Well, that's the beauty of the Fandom Alliance. You don't have to agree
and here's
wholeheartedly, but we can join together and we can say we're against the Menace.
We are to being Fandom Alliance.
Yeah.
I came here, I talked to everybody.
Well, here's the good news. Angus has nothing to do with it. He just wants to have conversations, which I'm not gonna say I'm not having conversations with people.
So here's the thing. I want to take it a step further, man.
Okay.
We gotta cancel Angus a second time, okay?
Oh no.
Dude, if you love me, we'll do this, okay? Okay, so here's the thing. He was canceled already by the Incel Queen. Did you watch that? That was good TV, man.
I thought that was lame. I thought that was lame the way they did it to him because
it was funny as heck, man. Psychopath versus sociopath.
Even though it kind of was what he did, it was his right to do it, and then I don't want to go into all that.
I just detest them both. I think they're both terrible people, so it was just kind of enjoyable.
Well, if you watch
how Logan Veracruz felt when the EU community was falling apart, EU fans are going to get that joke.
Angus's content has been getting better. He's been more nuanced in his takes, trying to examine both sides. Now, his humor is he likes to maybe take his humor too far, and I think that's where he gets in trouble.
So here's the thing, man.
Oh, Matt Jarvis. Hey, Matt.
Good stuff. He's what's he? He's
To be fair, I think they've been kind of ignoring Matt a little bit too about the Grey Council because I know I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak for you, Matt, but I know you've been trying to have a conversation going too. He is at least willing to have conversations, so I give mad respect to Matt.
Man, Matt was unfairly put in Major Lee's review of the Fandom Menace. That video is a garbage video.
Yeah.
For the reasons that the review of the Fandom Menace goes after Mike Z, goes after the dude Robert Storms, goes after Matt, like people who are not Fandom Menace affiliated while omitting many people who are. And this is the issue with the shill side of things, is the shill side attacks anybody who dislikes The Last Jedi. And that's just like, that's bad idea, man. This is what we talk on our council a lot about, is because we have people who are very pro sequel trilogy, and we just try to adopt with them, kind of tell them, adopt the mentality we did with the prequels, that we love them, but a lot of people don't, and it's as simple as that, really. But the show side is very toxic. It really is. And that's not people who like the movie. I'm talking fanboys. Fanboys are the toxic people, right? And Dr. Snow and I were talking about this because while we were these are Dr. Snow's words. You have one side of the Fandom Menace that's just openly bigoted, and then you have the shill side that are just stupid about the lore. I mean, the Fandom Menace are stupid too, but it's like a different kind of stupidity. And the shill side of kind of knocks the EU and what came before, and it's tough because you're just like in the middle of this all. Then you throw in the Grey Order, and then it's just like to quote Saw Gerrera in Rogue One, the world is coming undone, and. We want your movement to succeed. We really do. I want the Grey Order, man.
Well, I can't say cancel anyone though. That's the problem. I think if we go the route you are going,
I'm very persuasive.
We will not be.
Max, you have the power. This man's YouTube career is in your hands.
Well, here's the thing, B-Level. If we go the way you are, then we're no different than the Grey Order, where we won't talk to people. He is not identifying as an alliance member. He's identifying as a menace. Max, but I still want to talk to him.
Don't think about this as a boycott, Max. Think about this as a warcott, and there's a difference.
There's Max, things that I gotta be fair. I gotta be fair.
You want our cooperation. This is the thing, man. This is the thing. Like I know.
Well, here's the bottom line. It doesn't matter because he is not identifying as the Fandom Alliance.
I know.
Just be on streams with us. So,
but I actually came on here. So this is our ultimatum. We want to cancel Angus. Here's the reason, man.
Cancel Angus.
We're doing okay. You have the power.
Grab the steak sauce and have some dinner,
dude. This is the thing. You have the platform. Here's the thing, right? Okay, so this is all right. History lesson number 2, people. All right. So here's how
I gotta stop you here, B-Level, because I have a similar issue with Angus that I have with you.
Right.
And I'm not canceling you. I don't disagree with things you say, but the timing of when you did something with Anna was not tactful, and it was the wrong time. So I think that's in a similar situation as to what Angus did. So I think you got to look at both sides.
What was the thing we did? I'm not denying anything we did. Okay. Was it that like
the timing of when I have lots of problems with Anna and what she does. I think she's gotten a little bit better actually lately, because she's distancing herself from Jared onward. But the timing was awful when you were right after her sister died, saying something.
Dude, okay. What video? Like, dude,
it was tweets. I think it was tweets where you're saying respect your sister, or the way your movement about how you treat women is not a way to respect your sister. Something like that. I don't remember.
I was saying, man, you might think this sounds harsh, but people have to understand the responsibility of their platform, right? I'm talking about punk and hardcore, right? And some people think it's a platform to flip everything off, right? That's your prerogative if you think that. It's your band, right? But a platform matters and influences other people. I'm going to be abundantly clear about this, and I think Jeremy's doing the same thing. He's a horrible father for what he does to his daughter because he's making the world a worse place. His daughter and Star Wars Girl is contributing to.
Okay, you have an excellent point there, but the timing is important, and I think everyone should have a little bit of.
That Star Wars Girl is a sociopath. Okay, she allowed Jesse Milestone and Jeremy to harass her other sister.
That I didn't like that either.
Dude, that's screwed up, man. That's really messed up.
But my point in bringing that up, B-Level, was not to condemn you. Was to say, should we cancel you just like Angus then? No.
You don't okay, look, dude. Okay, if you're talking about a video that I made about Anna, she harassed somebody on Twitter like a week or whatever before she had a personal thing happen, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't follow everybody's personal lives, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. Bad people have families, okay? Bad people have personal connections, right? And if you take something down because it's unrelated, it's not.
I see that point, but
like if you're talking about the event in question, the event in question did not happen at the time of the video being made. A video was made a few days before, right? It was unrelated. It was about somebody else. somebody I knew who had to shut down their Twitter account for being harassed, and I'm not going to stand down because of that person. I stand by that today, and you know, I thought with what happened with Star Wars Girls personal, I don't like talking about people's personal lives. I really don't.
To be fair, I can totally see your point that you made the video before you realized what happened and it was already live. But at the same point, once someone said, you know, it's not a good time, maybe you should have considered. I don't know. It's a hard situation to be in. Okay, I give you that.
I get that you understand that. To me, like it's like I think it's difficult. To,
but just like Angus was told, you know, she's in the hospital.
What happened with Willie going after? Maybe you're talking about Willie's comment.
I don't know who. To be honest, I get lost with all this chaos in the fandom. I don't know exactly who said what.
About a video that I made. I thought you were talking about a video that I made like a little bit before something personal happened to her. It was Willie who Facebook messaged her, I think, around after it happened. He didn't know her personal life. I think that's what you're referring to. And, you know, I just want to say, like, it's horrible that tragedies happen, man. And I don't want to be put in a place where you seem merciless, right? You want to show mercy to people. But I do think somebody like Star Wars Girl needs to get off the internet. I don't think he's made for the internet. No,
I actually think. Well, here's the thing: if we call them out on it and they improve their content, we can't condemn them forever. No, so Anna's actually, I think, is less cringy than she was, and she hasn't been collabing as much with Jared Amort. So.
Anyway, look, man, that Star Wars Girl, like her face makes me want to throw up. Okay.
That's like a
okay. Well, she looks like the girl version of me. Okay, so it's difficult to watch. Can you sit through that? Could you do that? I don't think you can. Anyway, it's like the girl version of me if the girl version of me was a fascist. Okay, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is that like all those people, you know, Jeremy makes me want to throw up. EVS makes me want to laugh and throw up at the same time. Stupid.
EVS makes me want to have pie.
But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that it's like these people, I don't like focusing on them, and I wish they would, like, man, if they just left us alone and let us chill with our EU books, there wouldn't even be a Fandom Menace Slayer, man. Sure, I would have made a couple informative videos for my audience, but that's it. That's all it would have been. It would have just been some videos for my audience just to inform, hey, EU community, don't lump in with these people, stay independent. That's it. These people chose to have a total war, and they're not winning anymore, and now they're salty about it. You know? And the fandom, what are they called? The Grey Order, right? The Grey Order, they're just a bunch of enablers, right? Like what's his face? Josh won't talk with anybody, but he'll talk with Jeremy, no problem.
Yeah, that's what I called him out on. I said you're very hypocritical. It seems like you only want to talk to the opposing side when it benefits you for views, not when there's always genuine conversation to be had.
And what I can say about the EU community is there was a huge problem. Anybody that I encountered in that whole thing who basically said they were going to stay in the middle never stayed in the middle. They always ended up siding with the Menace, right? So Grey Order, Second Stream Marvel legit said, yeah, I'd rather collab with the Fandom Menace than Council and Exile. Now, I haven't talked to the guy. Maybe I could persuade the guy differently. Maybe he could persuade me differently. And maybe I was premature to call the guy a moron. I will take that back because I have. But, you know, anybody who says they collab with the Menace, I'm like, again, like I legitimately think they're a white power movement. Like, people aren't going to change my mind. I don't think everybody knows. I think they're alt-right. Okay, they're alt-right. I mean, come on, man. What's his face? EVS did the illustrations for Jordan Peterson. There's not that many, like the links aren't.
That doesn't make him all right.
Like, you know, he said Peterson should be the Prime Minister of Canada. Okay, so he clearly supports him beyond just doing some images. Anyway, that's an example, right? But it's like the Menace. They don't understand how they like. Here's the thing about our movement, right? Like our group, like Matt Wilkins, for example. He just assumed we were like an echo chamber, like we were all lefties. Not true. Not true at all. We have right-leaning people in our server. it's international, so it's right-leaning people.
Well, here's the issue I'm having now is if we start a movement and we start saying, well, we're canceling people before the movement even starts, we're no better than everyone else.
Do you think somebody who makes jokes about rape should be canceled? Do you think someone who propagates rape culture should
I think they should be called. I think everyone is responsible for their words, and they need to deal with it. But that doesn't mean they need to cancel forever. Otherwise, what are you going to do with everyone? Max, everyone's made mistakes. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Like, look. Okay. Do you notice there's way less female Star Wars creators than there are males? I'm not trying to be SJW on you. I'm just trying to be factual and objective here. I didn't know a single female EU content creator on YouTube. That's just a fact, okay? And when you have people in a movement that are all, always like, here's why I stopped watching Geeks and Gamers. Believe it or not, I watched this channel way back in early 2018. I watched every anti-Last Jedi channel. I watched your channel, man. I watched channels that didn't go the same route as Jeremy. He started using the word whammon repeatedly.
I hate that. That's a PewDiePie issue.
Okay. I don't know what PewDiePie is. I think he's a moron. But
he is a moron. He's part of the reason we have so much crap on YouTube.
Is like, okay, look, man. Like, if you just start like saying crap, and I'm not saying this to White Knight, okay? Like, okay.
I agree with that comment.
All right. And by the way, this is back in the early Mao days, but Mao had a quote, right, that said, women hold up half the sky, right? So you need to be allies to people, right? And if you're just like, like Jeremy's attitudes and Anna's attitudes, because people that come at me like, hey, as a woman, you're just saying this. I'm like, no, she's a freaking incel enabler. And
well, here's my problem with all the whammon and the jokes about being gay and everything. You're too right to joke like that. There's comedians that do it, but if that's the only thing you do constantly, it becomes hate. That's my opinion. If it's always about the jokes constantly, and that's all you talk about, or the same talking points, I think you and Dark Zenobia said this in the past. If you only talk about, let me think. SJW agenda or identity politics. I'm sorry. Right. If you only talk about identity politics, you're all about identity politics too on the other end.
Yeah.
and that's the talking point of the successful Menace channels. They use the same talking points in every single video because it trends. And the reason it trends is there's not everyone, but there's some that just love to hate on. Right. And I'm not saying the creator is, but the creators of the video is definitely benefiting from those clicks and skewing their content for easy hate. And that's why it clogs the algorithm. It's hate spam constantly. And that's that's the only talking point. They have other talking points, but that's not the one that gets the views. I'm not saying they've never addressed other issues, but when Jeremy does the political barking, racist, misogynist, homophobic, and he is a misogynist. That's sure.
Here's the thing, right? It's like if you always have to preface your points by saying you're like, oh, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, I'm not homophobic. If you just say that every time,
they had a point. They were called it by Access Media, not actual Disney, Lucasfilm, and Kathy, and then they stretched that same talking point out for 2 years. Does one T-shirt justify 2 years of content?
Yeah, the Force is female. So Force is female. That campaign was Nike. It wasn't even Star Wars. Yeah. It's like, come on, people. Fake news. #fake news.
Well, she never. As much as I dislike Kathy Kennedy, she never called the fans racist. It was Access Media, and honestly, this is a manufactured war by a bunch of grifters on the internet on both sides that want to get those hate clicks that get 10 times the revenue when they do hate on both sides. And Jeremy and the biggest menace in the Menace that exploit the hate clicks are just grifting, like they wink toward each other. If you notice that Access Media always likes to
They feed each other. It's cyclical.
Right, right.
It's like,
They're dependent on each other, and that's why there's help.
It's just like Trump and the mainstream media. They need each other. They just
Well,
go back and forth. Like Kim Jong-un and I don't know, other leaders in Asia. They need each other. It's like
they wink at each other. That's why that's why EVS is, oh, look, they mentioned my name. They wink towards each other because they give each other money by sending each other. It helps both of them. They're compliant in this hate for funds.
And here's the thing, right?
Without the hate, the movements would die faster.
Here's the thing, if you want to do like a movement civilly, how it works, if you don't want to have a violent revolution, if you want to have a civil, guess what CJG or not CJG is my man. I'm talking CJH. CJH, got a history coming at you. Gandhi, let's talk Gandhi, okay? Look, let's kick it back to India in the 30s and 40s, right? So you wanted to show the world, especially the West, you got the British going like we're all a bunch of savages and whatnot, right? Like if you want to prove to people that you are the bastion of worthwhile to be supporting, you defy what people say about you. Like the British were saying, oh yeah, India is savage, and people are just saying we're just chilling, marching for some salt, with our man Gandhi, right? And it's like people, or like the British, they'll be the ones shooting and beating people. Right? I actually had relatives. I'll say relatives because ancestors. It wasn't that long ago, but like in this movement, right? Like you show you're better than what they, what they say, and people support you because of that. You're like, well, these people are chill people. Why are they being beaten? And I hate giving this example comparing it to Fandom because Fandom does not deserve this example. But I'm trying to kind of level this out here. But like, Access Media is saying, oh, the fans, we're a bunch of savages. We're a bunch of like all the and isms, right? They're calling that out. And I'm there. I'm like, I'm a progressive, man. What the heck's going on, right? I didn't like The Last Jedi. And but I'm like, oh, Star Wars fans are angels. Like I was very naive. I thought everybody was like just wonderful people. Forgot about the prequel hate. But right, like that was a time where the fans, we could have stuck to the story, stuck to the inconsistencies and continuity, really hammered that home to point out why TLJ was not an effective movie. And through that, it would force them to write better movies if we stuck on that. But then Jeremy comes out because he probably is, he is bigoted in all these ways, right? But like initially, he just seems like this dude who's like just like the rest of us. He was called these names and unfairly, and he takes on that mantle and sneaks in what he's doing into reasonable critiques. Like the Mary Sue critique, Mary Sue is not a sexist term, it's a gender term. So like Gary Stu is the dude version, right? But they turn Mary Sue into a term you can't even use because these people just go off on and on about the female characters, right? So like the anti-Last Jedi movement, which you were an instrumental part of, like it was a real chance for fans to ask for better stories.
Yeah,
but
and it's gone
people
now.
With that kind of right-wing SJW or anti-SJW perspective really clung to that, which we can look at as like a superficial analysis of the movies, right? Like continuity is the most important thing at the end of the day.
Matt, so do I. I love the prequels too.
and we like Jeremy to me sold out the anti-Last Jedi movement and what he was supposed to be. It was supposed to be about story. It was supposed to be about fandom. And then he did all the paywall stuff that you're against, and I support that you're against.
Well, I'm not going to go into the origins of his start, but I really think he was just a flip-flopper, saw a hate train and jumped on it.
Yeah, I mean,
he just
I hate
doing
to
it.
Like Mike Hero, like I have an inside source, but I know like I someone talked to one of Jeremy's former employees, and they said they quit because he was a flip flopper. So anyway, people can go look that up. Like I'm not gonna like be like.
Well, he's twisted it into an anti-SJW movement, even more so than EVS and World Class. EVS is softened a little bit.
I think like to me, what I say is I think he sold out the movement and he made it about him, right? If you say they're shoving, a political.
Well, Jeremy went on record as saying everything else is irrelevant except Geeks and Gamers. That was disgusting. That was after some of my videos on him. You got to put fandom first, and that's my criticisms with him. Maybe you like Star Wars, But anti-SJW is number 1. Capitalism is number 2. His ego, and then maybe Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chubby Teddy is in the house. Yes. Chubby Teddy is another one that I think is definitely identifies. I'm speaking for you, Chubby, but I think you identify as Fandom Alliance. Him and Snowdub are definitely on board. And B Level, just to sit for this is a recap for Chubby because he just came in. B Level.
Hey, man, I'm gonna get some water. My throat's a bit parched, and we're gonna yell more. So.
Yeah, sure.
So
that's what happens. So no one in the stream leave while B Level gets some water, and we're gonna iron this out.
Also, I want to tell people for all those in the NPC order, because John talked about that, and straight up, you people are like Rival and Menacers for NPC levels. I think almost even more. Anyway, but what I'm trying to say is those people legit thought we were gonna come on here and just have a picnic and just make fun of Jeremy. It's like, okay, people rewatch the last hour. We were just pretty much yelling the whole time.
And
we still like each other.
I'm legit. I want criticism. The movie talk genre altogether on YouTube is crap right now, all across the board. And Campia and Collider and Harloff are the reason that Jeremy exists. If they would have dealt with fandoms better in a better way, they wouldn't give him that fuel that he's been recycling for 2 years now and grown his audience. If they would have just had a conversation to begin with. So there's so many, and now it's like the old white guys putting the band back together. They're camping on internet on YouTube, and they're doing super chats and StreamYard tips constantly to support them instead of creating better content. B Level, did you leave for your water? I'm talking to myself in the chat. All right, so let's keep this conversation going. It's been a hot one, and Chubby Teddy is one of my warriors in the Alliance, Snowdub, and we're trying. Well, B Level had an agenda to try to have me do something here and cancel Angus. I'll cancel him with some A1 steak sauce, and Matt Jarbo's still here. If you feel like stopping by Sunday, Matt, we are different than the lame order. We talk to everyone. We don't ignore people. And regardless of what you think of Matt, he responded right away to me on Twitter. And that's where we started streaming together. So mad props to Matt Jarbo. He means what he says when he says he'll talk to people. So there you go. Give him respect. There's too much people on YouTube that don't actually talk to each other or fronting like they're for fandom, like the Grey Order and the Grey Council and Darth Loogie. And he did attack the quality of my content if you watch his video. So he's not that innocent himself. And I don't think I lied. He said I lied and slandered his name. I don't think I did that. Because all I did was say you don't respond to people. And then, for one thing, I taught him how to respond. He's been responding like crazy the last 24 hours. And then he's talking about his book he wrote. Congratulations, a-hole. I wasn't talking about your book. I was talking about why you don't respond to people. All right. Snowdub. I was still on board with The Force Awakens. I didn't like the relation between Han and Ben. Wasn't built up from some kind of flashback before Han's death. I agree with your thoughts there. Dark Zenobia, I'm enjoying the stream with you guys. It's nice hearing an actual conversation, even if we don't agree with each other on everything. Dark Zenobia, I really want to collab in a car video with me and you going on taking these warriors to the road and visit Jaredamort in Florida. I think he'd love that. That's a car video I think everyone wants to see. Especially said if something ever happens to me, look for this guy. Okay, I've been keeping the show going so we don't lose any viewers.
Now you're pretty entertaining by yourself, man.
I'm sorry, what?
Sometimes when I'm waiting on the stream for other people, I just my energy just drops.
No, that's why I was trying to keep it.
1%.
I was trying to keep the energy high. I was talking about me and Dark Zenobia's future collab for a car video.
Wow, really?
No, I don't know if it can happen, but I want it to take these warriors to the road to visit Jaredamart.
Oh man, that would be epic, dude. Do it
because I want him to embrace what Jeremy said. If I ever go missing, look for that guy. What a duo we would make, Dark Zenobia.
Dude, I saw this video. It was on the first. I didn't watch the. Honestly, before this, I watched like 10 minutes of Den of Nerds and Jeremy talking while I was working out, and I'm like, oh, it's so boring.
Yes.
So I just like put on like some, I don't know, I forget, like politics podcast or whatever. Anyway, but what I was saying was in the first Hater stream, I remember he thought he saw Dark Zenobia walking on the street. Then Jeremy's like hiding under the dashboard of his car, afraid. like what does he think Dark Zenobia is gonna do? Snap his fingers and like Antifa shows up, or like the Ewoks show up and beat him up? I mean, Jeremy's fears are so irrational. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna meet him one day. He said he'll shake everyone's hand. I honestly am gonna have to control myself so I don't end up somewhere. Not that I would do anything that would cancel him altogether, but I can't. All right, I'm gonna control myself.
Yeah. And well, as the night goes on, we just get crazier and crazier, don't we?
Yes. Okay, so we have to. I'm waiting for you to get to
solutions, though. We've kind of been talking about all the problems in fandom and analyzing it and making jokes, and we should talk a lot about like Alliance going forward. It's like, I guess we're in the same time zone, so it's like an hour to midnight.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to wrap up by midnight.
Okay.
I don't really have anything tomorrow morning, other than like I might run with a friend. No, he usually parties tonight, so he won't be in running shape tomorrow.
Well, here's what I don't want to say. I cannot say, and with all due respect, I cannot say cancel someone that they're not allowed in the Alliance.
Okay.
But he doesn't even want to be in it. And
okay.
So I don't think I think it's a non-issue. And I think the Fandom Alliance is kind of separate from the War Council.
The War Council. Okay.
So the Fandom Alliance is us.
Not like us. It's not like us. We're the Council and Exile.
Right. The War Council is my idea that I've been working on for a freaking year, and it's been a freaking headache. Is talking to as many different opinions as possible and say, hey, this is what we're bringing to the Council of War. A few Fandom Alliance members. Check your Fandom Menace Slayer weapons at the door, and let's have a conversation. And we can have it if you want.
My weapon is part of my religion.
Okay, okay, I like that. We can work on a disclaimer at the beginning of the War Council saying, no, we're coming together for the benefit of conversation with people we don't disagree with and that are not as exactly associated with. So we can discuss that.
I do like that. Like, I mean, we had that with Willie.
We can have a disclaimer and say, you know what? Just because we're talking on the War Council doesn't mean we're associated with other members on this stream, and doesn't mean we agree with it. Every person's responsible for their own words and content, and I think that's something we can get ironed out.
It is a shame in the time and place we are right now that we have to like actually preface these things.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel better, I will do that, and I think that's a good thing to state. Because I want to take this War Council to the next level, and I think Second Street is important because he's the sexiest Grey Order member there is, and he's the one that they're missing, honestly.
Right. Well, dude, if you want swag points, you gotta get an Iron Inquisitor, man. Those pixelated sunglasses, he's like like God.
So
level.
I think Angus adds to the conversation, and he's a menace that is willing to talk and is willing to hear different sides, even though he's aggressive. He is aggressive too, and it's his part of his personality, his humor, and I think it gets him in trouble.
Dude, I gotta stop you, man. There's nothing funny about rape jokes. There's like
no, I don't personally like them either. But it's I mean, how many times has he done that?
Dude, he just did it again this morning. Check Twitter.
Okay, I don't follow everything he does, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna.
if he continually
well, this is something that you could bring up on the War Council, and me and Snowdub will moderate and try to keep it civil and be like, you know what, I don't like that these type of jokes. Let him defend himself.
If somebody's threatening to rape somebody that they disagree with, that's extremely problematic.
I don't like that either. So I can't comment on it. I can't comment on what he's not.
That's the same thing as threatening to kill somebody, okay, that you disagree with.
Well,
okay?
here's where you'll be accountable for your words in the War Council. And this is something you can bring up in the council. You know, like, if we're here for fandom, how is this type of commentary helping fandom? And you can bring that up and we can discuss it in the War Council and have a civil conversation about it. You know, it's your right to do these type of jokes, but is it actually funny?
You're literally look, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I know redemption is a big part of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm trying to say is you need to see a significant, like, I'm not trying to be Puritan like Grey Order. I know what you're saying. I know how it looks. But what I'm saying is, Dark Synovia left the Fandom Menace, right?
Yeah.
So he said working with people who are in the Menace, who have left the Menace, it'd be hypocritical if we wouldn't do that. Like, I've been very open about the Ivan Ortega situation. You know, like, I was supportive of him. He's been wanting to leave the Menace like multiple times. It hasn't happened yet. He's the next Fandom Menace Slayer rescue mission. I believe it can happen, man. Poor dude's been a hostage. But what I'm trying to say is, like, when somebody shows a good degree of goodwill, that they want to move forward and stuff, but like this is the thing that I really disagree with the Grey Order, is they say we just need to forget everything. We need to forget everything and move on and not talk about past quarrels. Just pretend like they didn't happen. That's not how they work. Look at Palestine and Israel. Look at South Africa. Look at America, man. That's not how this stuff works. And we need to talk these things out. And that's what we're, in our group, in Council in Exile, we've talked a lot about times in EU fans and canon fans in the past few years were at odds with each other.
Well, here's what I want from you,
We've taken accountability.
Here's what I want. Yeah, I agree. Accountability. Words have meaning, and if you only do this constant joking about like the rape joke, it's not funny to me either.
No, dude,
I don't think he should be condemned. I think he's
literally threatening people.
This is the type. This is the type.
He's literally threatening people with that. Like, the dude should be like, look, Max, you're the only person who's literally platforming the dude. This is why, like, you have the power. If you just like, screw this guy.
I'm not going to do that. I don't do that to anyone.
I don't control you, Max. I don't control you, but I control me.
Well, the easy thing is,
Exile, but we're all in agreement that I'm.
All right. Here's a scenario. If it got to the point where someone's being so toxic within the Fandom Alliance that identified as Fandom Alliance, then we would have the members of the Fandom Alliance have a conversation either off stream, off air, or on stream to talk about it. But I don't like canceling anybody unless it's so. I'm not. But the thing is, he's not Fandom Alliance, so it's a mute point.
Max, all right. I want to help your movement, right? I want you to succeed, and I like you as a person. Yeah. Okay. Optics do matter, and while people on the, me, I actually just learned right now that the War Council is, I'm sorry if I wasn't paying attention to your videos, but the War Council is different than the Alliance. It's not like there are a lot of people outside that look in and they see the War Council as like the High Council equivalent of the Phantom Alliance. That's what they think.
Different.
Look, and you got to think about how this. Like, when I think of decisions, I don't like prioritizing optics first. I think that's shallow, and I think that's it makes you look like a politician, right? But I understand if you're doing a movement, optics matter. And like, please listen to me, because our little group, Council in Exile, I told you, we've been at it with everybody. Shills, Menace, a little bit of Raylos, so that kind of patch things up with some of the Raylos. The Toxic Brood, Mahler's crew, Nail the Grey Order. Like, literally, we've been through so much drama, which is kind of funny because
here's the benefit of being with the Alliance. If it's becoming an issue like this, it would be a topic on a War Council where we would not only get Fandom Alliance thoughts on it, we'd get outside thoughts on it too for a whole roundtable discussion.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, we've been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just want you to really heed my advice, because, like, look, we wouldn't have gotten through what we would and still be together as an entity if we weren't critical in how we analyze stuff.
I'm very cautious with Angus, as I am with you guys too. I mean, I want to talk to everybody.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I find about us and stuff is, like, a lot of people, they're like, and props to people watching who maybe never gave me or others in my group a chance. We're like, oh, this guy, like, is pretty chill. He might do some rants about politics, but at least he's, like, funny and stuff. And I give mad props to people who are giving me a chance right now. I'm giving mad props to Max for letting me on and stuff. And what I want to say is, like, I'm sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's all right, take your time.
It's getting a bit later here. But a lot of people on the outside, I feel like they look at our group and stuff, and, like, but once they actually chill on a stream or get to know us, they're like, well, these guys aren't as crazy as people make us out to be and stuff.
Right.
Like Dark Sinovia, like, he does yelling videos, but we've talked a ton offline. He's a great guy to talk to, man.
Mm-hmm.
Same with you, man. And a lot of people might assume we're, like, really stupid, and that's fine. If you watch my meme videos, I don't blame you. But, like, we have thought stuff through. Like, the whole Matt Wilkins situation, that was an orchestrated attempt within the EU community and within the upper echelons of the overlord of the Fandom Menace, Jared Amort himself. That was an orchestrated effort between many people to just cancel our group, right?
Uh-huh.
And we got through that. We kept pretty much all the people who supported us.
I don't like if you didn't come on the stream that they had Matt there to jokingly deliver your criticisms like a bad stand-up comic. So I thought that was lame too.
Oh, you didn't like that they had Matt on?
That he's cheesy as hell. And he was delivering your criticisms like he's a stand-up comic, very sarcastic. And I think Dark Sinovia's video is proof that he's also a flip-flopper. When the trends go a certain way, he jumps on that trend.
And here's the thing I'll talk about the EU community for people that don't know was basically, I think there was a decision within the old guard of the expanded universe movement that they saw how, quote unquote, successful the Fandom Menace was. Let's be real, in 2018, they grew quite a bit. They made some pretty big strides. And they saw what happened. And they were like Matt Wilkins and Brian Borg. If anybody
can I suggest something now? I don't want to go past 2 hours. And then I don't know if Snowdub, if you're still available to come on, it might be interesting to get another Fandom Alliance member position on your concerns.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I'll lightning around this.
Okay.
Was basically they decided, two people in the old guard of the EU decided they wanted to grow the EU movement and saw how much the Fandom Menace grew, so they wanted to hop on that bandwagon. But at the same time, Iron dropped a bombshell where he thought he found that Reddit post that said Jeremy's TLJ reviews. He thought he found that, right? So then he posted that on his channel, said, look, Jeremy's a flip-flopper. Jeremy goes in on Iron to silence the reviews. He doesn't want people to know about the reviews. So I basically call out Jeremy. Anna does this 4-hour live stream. By the way, Anna sounds like a pedophile herself. My goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
No, dude, she thought I was 14. She thought I was 14, like 25, saying these sexualized comments. Man, if a dude said that about a girl who was 14, imagine that. Imagine what they'd be flamed. Let's be real. And this is the same thing. I'm not seeing a gender difference here. If you people like want to like defend that, then you're sick in the head. Anyway, I get harsher at night. I can't be funny and harsh. Like when I kind of, but like I guess when I was trashing Second Street, I was like, oh yeah, CJH, go back and check out that stream, man. She's a sicko. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that
Relapse. I do want to say that I don't want to interrupt you, but I have someone that I need to stream that he's actually saw on the last Jedi review.
That's insane, man.
I would like to. I would love to.
We oppose the menace, right? So this all happened just kind of organically, where there was a clash with the menace, and after we made the Fandom Menace exposed videos, where they unlisted their 4-hour live streamer, they made a huge mockery of the EU. They took the first expanded universe in 5 years and called the comic book fake. Matt Wilkins can deny that, but there's like extended clips where they go in to say how Marvel's comic book sales are declining, so they probably wouldn't talk about that if they didn't think the comic was fake. Heck, EVS probably knew about it, but just didn't want to admit it because it's a chance for people to have a timeline in Star Wars that they could enjoy. Ryan Kindle owes his career to me because Jeremy just got Ryan Kindle to have damage control because the EU community was turning against Jeremy. Simultaneously, while we were turning the EU community against GOG, the old guard were freaking out. Like their plan to grow their numbers through the Fandom Menace was eroding. So I believe them, and Jeremy probably talked like that. Matt Wilkins thing, it was way too perfectly planned. The timing, everything. So like they wanted to just get rid of us. They didn't want the Menace did not want opposition. They colonized the EU community, and Jeremy destroyed the EU community. His plan destroyed the EU community, but it didn't destroy us, and he didn't get his ultimate goal. His ultimate goal is to destroy us. So what I'm saying, man, is like there was like a 6-month orchestrated plan to destroy us. Matt Wilkins read it out, and Jeremy's laughing his head off. That Matt Wilkins is that stupid to not even realize that Matt just said the plan, but doesn't even understand that was the plan. So
what I'm trying to say is like we survived a lot, right, man? And I want your movement to succeed. On the outside, people see the War Council as the pinnacle.
Well, here's where every member of the Fandom Alliance, no matter how new you are, if you have an issue with another Fandom Alliance member, we take it to the War Council and we check our weapons at the door, have a civil conversation, and me and Snowdub and Chubby Teddy will moderate, make sure no one is attacked.
What I'm trying to say is like there's a huge difference between threatening people and just like disagreeing with people, right?
Well, B-Level, I would like to bring Snowdub on right now for just a few minutes because it'd be interesting.
It's your stream, and
to get a fresh perspective. And he's also really hardcore to the Fandom Alliance.
Yeah,
and he might want to address your concerns. So I want to bring him on and give you a chance to talk a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, so here he is. He's a great guy. All right, here's Snowdub.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, Snowdub, what's up? This is my first time meeting you.
Hey, B-Level. Yeah, I've checked you out a few times. Checked out a few of your streams
Cool.
recently. Yeah.
I heard you were a rapper.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, he is. Hell yeah.
So what we're doing is we're doing a Fandom Alliance rap. Okay, it's gonna be better than the Fandom Menace rap.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna make one of pretty soon. As soon as we get grounded, I'll make a cool little rap skit for us.
Oh man, now I'm excited. This is great news. I didn't know this was gonna happen.
Dude, we didn't know Fandom Alliance.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be a surprise.
Oh, okay.
It's all good.
Anyway, that was just I had to plug that because I love creative projects, and Meme Wars is only fresh for a while. Then you need something really creative.
Well, Snow, the reason I wanted to bring you on is because you're a very level-headed guy, and B-Level has had some concerns with some people. But honestly, Angus is not identified as the Fandom Alliance, and I don't think canceling people while movement's fresh is a good idea or ever. I think if you have an issue with someone, you bring it to the council. And we discuss it like men.
No, you got to take the French Revolution on that one. I'm kidding. That was a disaster. Bad example.
All right.
Bad example.
But I want to get your thoughts on it, Snowdub, because you're an equal part of this. So, what are your thoughts on B-Level's concerns?
Well, I guess I can start from the top. I mean, I know a lot of these people that you're talking about pretty well. I've been in this YouTube make a video thing for about almost a year, a couple months away from it. And of course I started out as a Geeks and Gamers shill and fell right into the whole, I guess the hatred craze that everybody was going through after The Last Jedi. We were all pretty torn, pissed off. So it was an easy.
No, it was justified, man. I mean, that movie, like, my buds in the State of Star Wars podcast, they just rewatched it each like 2 or 3 times before doing their podcast analysis, and they were like dying inside. Dark Synovia needed to do like a 1-hour therapy session with me after.
Oh, the fight scene alone in the throne room there is just despicable and just not even worth going over again. But
what's so funny is I get a ton of people who are Fandom Menace who, if they like crash my stream, they'll be like, I bet you're gonna defend TLJ, and it's like 5 minutes after me and my friends were like making fun of it, and I'm like, what? Like,
why would you want to
actually? But you know, I get it, because there's, like you mentioned before, like when you're in that stream or you know you're brainwashed one way, it's like they really, like Jeremy really sets up the narrative to be this binary thing of like, we monopolize hating the Last Jedi and everybody else who us likes the Last Jedi. And as we see, like Max doesn't like TLJ, I don't, Dark Synovia doesn't, you don't. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like the movie.
Well, I'll tell you what's really nice about Max is the fact that I don't have to buy a T-shirt to hang out and talk.
Or be right, you want to be my Patreon? Go fund yourself.
Okay. I'm sorry. I gotta make a comment to TJH. I don't want. We're having a good time. I don't want to crash this, but this dude's like, I can't believe you said that stuff casual about Anna. Well, I can't believe Anna would say stuff about a 14-year-old boy. So take that to the bank.
Anyway, Anna's got some and I ain't denying that by any means.
She almost made me. I mean, I almost felt bad for Angus when he was getting shredded, but I'm like, nah, he deserved it.
So we have.
It was like my 2 biggest, I don't know, haters or whatever were like going at it. It was. They could have thrown Malad and Kulik in the mix there, and throw him around the mosh pit a bit.
Well, Angus is he's the black sheep of the Phantom Menace.
Well, it's because he tussled it up with the like, if he didn't get on her wrong side, he would still be in there. And that's why I'm trying to warn you guys, is like, here's the thing, is what I think Angus is going to do. And we talked about this in Exile. This isn't just my conspiracy mind. This is all our conspiracy minds. And what we think that's going to happen is Max, we think he's going to use you. He's going to use you to get legitimized against someone in the fandom. Because after Anna shredded him, he just walked home in shame. But he's going to use you, and he's going to...
The stream cut out.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. You were kind of going droid.
Nothing but silence here.
We lost your face, though.
Can you hear me?
Are you still there, Max?
I'm going to remove you, Snowdub. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, was I cutting out?
You lost it for a few seconds. Now you're back. So we can hear you.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
But yeah, I was just talking about how Angus is a good guy. He just has set in the wrong places sometimes. Other times he nails it. Second Street Marvel is another one that's a good friend of mine. Help each other build slow numbers.
Look, man,
he's a good guy too.
Oh, what the hell is going on? Snowdub, I'm gonna have to release you and then try to come back in because it's really bad. You sound like a droid. So I'll take you out, but come right back in and see if that fixes it. All right.
Anyway, so what we think is going on is that I'm
gonna kick you, I think, and then try to come back in. Okay, you're out. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what the hell was that?
That was like an album right there.
I know that was the remix.
Hey, that should be the beat for the Phantom Menace rap. Start something really experimental. Outdo Kanye on this one.
Yeah, if you're still there, Snowdub, try to come back in. I don't know what the hell.
You know what? I would like to call in a line. I'd like to call in a friend to explain the conspiracy. I want to bring in not CJH, CJG. He's the king at this stuff. He'll explain it well. I like to bring my friend CJG. General CJG is in the chat. If I copy the link, does it send to him?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna send it to him.
I'll tweet it out publicly.
Don't worry, man. I'm just gonna.
All right, Snowdub's back. Hopefully, all right, Snowdub, you're back.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if it's my cell phone or what. Maybe I got a bad signal where I'm at.
Oh yeah, it was really actually it was kind of cool, but I don't know what the heck was. It was really.
Oh, like CJH actually said something funny. Snow dubstep.
I identify as a robot now.
Like I will admit when somebody that disagrees with me has a good point, and that was a good joke.
All right, well, Snowdub, to make it all fair, B-Level has invited General CJG on, so I'm bringing him on now.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
I'm alive.
Yeah, we got another Exile here.
But you can still talk, Snowdub. Feel free to talk.
By the way, CJG, don't worry if you don't want to stay on for long. I just want you to explain the conspiracy of Angus to Max, and maybe talk about the Marietta thing again, because I feel like I'm kind of like sounding like I'm running around the merry-go-round, where maybe a fresh take will help you. And you're like the most persuasive person in our group.
Well,
Matt Wilkins gonna test.
Well, I don't know about the persuasive part, because I've seen you being more persuasive to others, like Tad Larkin. But now, okay. So what B-Level wanted to say was basically that we all have to believe that Black Angus doesn't really have any allegiance to a specific group or whatever, but he seems like he wants his channel to grow exponentially, I guess, with subscribes and views. And best way to do it is from being on the good side of the big dog of Fandom Menace, Jeremy. And playing as a double agent in the Fandom Alliance would probably get him that. Basically be an insider in the Fandom Alliance.
Double agent.
Kind of like say like, oh, I'm part of the Fandom Alliance, but instead he's like feeding Jeremy about anything that you do against him, Mad Max. That's kind of what we fear in terms of.
I actually want to put your fears to rest. He does not. He thinks we're lame too. So he does not identify or have any ambition to be part of the alliance.
He's Fandom Menace.
He just wants to talk, and I think having a conversation is what differentiates us from the Gray Order. And even though the Fandom Menace likes to say they have lots of diversity, not so much diversity of thought, except on hater streams. And that's what we're going to do different. And that is something that no one's doing right on all councils here.
Hey, man,
what me, Snowdub, and Chubby are really trying to do, well, maybe the Council of Exile, I give you guys credit for that. You have, okay, but I'm saying this is what we want to do differently, is on every War Council have different opinions, and not just Fandom Alliance in the War Council.
I got you, man. So here's the way I see it. I feel like the principles of Fandom Alliance basically sound like they are the War Council, is like an alliance of fans that think differently. So I see the War Council as basically an extension of that. Like, it's the same thing, really.
But if you have an issue, bring it to the War Council. We'll try to settle it.
Here's what I tried to level that was different than the Den of Nerds. What they want to do is equate movements, but we want to equate they want to give movements equal sway or what have you in a discussion, right? So shills and Fandom Menace, basically, they want that to be equal, where we don't really look at the movements as what we're trying to balance. What we're trying to balance, because we don't obviously see things as binary. We don't really we don't see it as like exclusively two sides. That two sides narrative annoys me so much. But when we look at Exile, what we're trying to do is we're trying to look at like people's opinions on the art and what art they like. We're trying to look at the art, not movements, right? Like we're just like a clubhouse where we're all just talking about art. Like that's the way we see it. And I know one critique the Grey Order had of you, and I've had this critique thrown at me back when EU Community Gate was happening, and we were the conspiracy or whatever, and people were saying you're doing too much videos about fandom. And, I know like I got that critique before, and I know like you got that critique from Grey Order and stuff. So like I think it's cool to talk about fandom. Like, I definitely have a 50-50 split, I find, with my content. I've been trying to do more lore because I understand I originally positioned myself as a lore channel, but I think fandom's really important. We had a buddy of ours in the EU community who I have I really do love the dude. I think he's a great guy who wanted to step away from this. It's not Callum. It's not Callum. I'm talking about someone who's actually a respectable person. This dude, like, he felt like the whole split in the EU community is a bit too much for him. And he didn't want to be embroiled in the conflict. But one of the issues is what caught him, I'm not going to get into specifics, but what really shocked him and caught him off surprise was he was aware of the Shields versus the Fandom Menace. And he always thought the EU community was independent of that. And he didn't realize that fight got within, or at least the Fandom Menace trying to take over, got within the EU community. And he was shocked. But the thing is, like, you got to know your environment that you're in. If you're in a community, here's where it's important. It is. Like, my analogy is, it's like if you live on a street and there's a gang war on your street. And two gangs are like shooting at each other, and you walk out of your house and a bullet flies by your head, and you're like, "How did this happen?" Like, it's on your street. It's not even another part of the city.
Well, here's where I want to kind of
you got to know what's happening, or else you're going to be caught off guard.
Start to end this stream is to go to B Level's concerns. I will go to my man Snowdub and I almost said Snow Chubby, Chubby Teddy Monster, that are all about the Fandom Alliance now. Right. If we would have to vote, and I'm not canceling Angus, but it's a moot point because he's not wanting to join the Alliance anyway. And if we did have a situation where someone's being so toxic within the Fandom Alliance, we would have a war council where everyone can defend themselves. I'm just gonna say one more thing before Snowdub talks. I'm gonna let him talk and everything. That's my vote. Snowdub gets a vote, and Chubby Teddy about canceling Angus, and I'm not canceling him, but I want to talk to him.
Canceling is a stupid term. It's a stupid term.
Well, that's what you said. That's what you said.
I know. I'm saying it. I'm saying it's like you literally have this guy's life in your hands, and you can do what you will with it. Okay? Right.
I'm not going to stop talking to him, and I called him out on the thing you have an issue with him. Right. Okay. I said I don't like what he did. I told him about it.
So I think what we're doing is we're kind of like, and this is good. I have a greater understanding of where you're at with the Alliance, and what I'm doing is like, so I think I'm going to try to move the argument out of what I think about it within the Alliance, because I know, okay, Angus isn't in the Alliance. That's his stance. That's your stance. I'm going to look at the optics outside, because the optics do matter in making a movement. As I mentioned, like, I know I joke about, like, I joke, like, I talk about politics. I don't like looking like being a politician, okay? And I don't want that to be our approach to fandom, but we do have to consider.
Politics.
Yeah, it's actually banned in some of our servers, by the way.
Mine actually, it's Star Wars. I'm strict on that shit.
So, but what we're trying to say is, what's CJG and I, we were trying really hard with the EU old guard to convince them not to be with the Menace. And CJG, since you're on, I should let you talk. Do you want to explain about the whole billboards thing and how Lucasfilm would see us if we were with them?
What you want me to say? What would happen if the Fandom Menace affiliates with the EU movement?
Yeah, like, you just kind of give a short answer of it as if nobody knows.
Okay. As EU fans, what we want the most is to get the Expanded Universe to be continuous. But in order to do that, well, the EU movement has to be a positive force in the fandom in order for Lucasfilm to take us seriously and to actually get it continuous. Now, here's the thing. If that movement, the EU movement, affiliates with arguably the most toxic part of the Star Wars fandom currently, well, chances are Lucasfilm is not going to, and we actually have a source at Lucasfilm. Yeah, we actually do have one. He confirmed to us that if the EU movement affiliates the Fandom Menace, it's game over. No EU is going to be continued, no nothing, because the EU movement is going to be considered just as disposable and as a nuisance as the Fandom Menace.
Okay, I've go on record saying I've never been with the Fandom Menace. I don't think we have any ties to them. But I don't think we should say Fandom Menace members that want to be that are inquiring to the Alliance, we should not talk to them or cancel them either. I think that's dangerous territory, and that's no better than all these other. I want to be better than all these other movements, and I don't think that's the right way. I think everyone is accountable for their words. I think words have meaning, and you're responsible for them. And if you have an issue with someone, like I think you guys have some issues, we can iron them out. We can iron them out on a war council, but it's pretty much a moot point because he doesn't even want to join. He has no association with the fandom.
I got you. This is new information that we kind of didn't really.
Yeah, he does not. He makes fun of. He makes fun of us. He doesn't want to join.
Like,
can I mention something about Angus? By the way, my thoughts.
Okay.
Actually, to be honest, I don't really know what he is or thinks, because I've seen several of his comments on YouTube and what he did in the Moria situation as well. And I honestly don't even know if he's like, if he honestly has a, I don't want to like, does he actually have a rational mindset? Like, does he actually
he's got a weird sense of humor, and his videos are actually really good lately. He's been a nuanced take on issues in the fandom, and he gives a good take in his videos. If you watch his actual content, it's his personality of he wants to trigger people to get a laugh, and he thinks things are funny, and people taking things too seriously is funny, which as a criticism of your movement, sometimes you take things too seriously, which is not a bad
seriously, man.
I mean, that's not a bad thing either, but there has to be a balance. Oh no, I sound like I sound like the goddamn Gray Order. A balance in everything.
When we were going hard on the EU movement, we were taking it like really seriously, but it was because like the movement was legit falling apart. Like it was like it's like now it's irrelevant. Like it really is.
Well,
like,
I really love talking to you guys. It is approaching the 2-hour mark though.
Max,
and
can I request something of you? And I'll let you talk. Could CJG and I opt out right now? And could we talk amongst the Council in Exile for like 10 minutes and me come back on and talk to you guys? Because I need to process.
I'll be here. I'll be here. I don't know if Snowdub will, so yeah, that's fine.
It's okay if Snow's not here. I just want to, because I want tonight to be definitive.
All right, that's
I want to talk amongst our people, and I got CGG on here, but there's some questions I want to ask him and others that I don't really
just be like aware that talk amongst yourselves. Just be aware he does not identify as that, and if there was anyone that was in the alliance that had an issue, we will try to work it out like men.
And it is important to note too, like I don't want to be around Angus because I think he's
I don't think you should avoid talking with him though.
Dude, I don't want to be around him because I just don't. Okay, I just don't. But there's also an optical angle that I don't care. I don't give a crap about the optics. But there is the optics of like we just like went hard against him a couple months ago, and now we're buddies with him. It's like that makes us no better than the way we accused Ryan Kinnell and Matt Wilkins. Like that legit makes us no better, and in my opinion, it would make us even worse. Okay, so
all right. Well, I would say go talk and come back because I don't want to go too much longer. So I will give you your 10 minutes. Sure.
Okay.
All right, CGG. We'll kick it to Discord. Let's try to get as many people as we.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I'm the first final. Yeah, that was intense there, Max. Jesus.
Oh my goodness. But this is where we're different, Snowdub, because we try to work it. Someone that's interested in the Fandom Alliance, we're willing to talk to them, even if we disagree with them. But I think canceling people is a dangerous thing to say, even if you disagree or have issues with what they've done. I think they should be responsible for what they've done. But I'm not going to not talk to Angus. I don't like things he's done. I don't like things B-Level's done, honestly, either.
That's not how we're going to progress as a movement by shutting people down.
Right.
We have to keep an open mind.
Just so you viewers that are watching now, even if we were going to say cancel Angus, which I'm not, we would put it to a vote for people that are in the alliance right now, me, Snowdub, and Chubby. And I'm not canceling anybody. So Snowdub, I think was that your vote?
Yeah, that's a no for me as well. So Chubby doesn't even vote.
I think that's counterproductive to conversations. So
yeah, definitely is. And you can argue with people all you want on Twitter, like B-Level was talking about with Second Street and all that, but it's only going to get you so far until you actually have a conversation.
I think most of this is Angus's wicked sense of humor, and he likes getting people triggered. And I think they take it too seriously. But I also think if you do it constantly, that is optics too, and your words have meaning. So he deserves some of the criticism, I think, too. But I'm not going to stop talking to him.
No,
So
I've known
I
Angus
get
for
it.
a long time. Yeah,
I get it.
He's good. He's good people. He wears his heart on his sleeve sometimes, and other times he lets his emotions kind of run his thought process, which can get a little cringe from time to time. So Angus, he's an interesting character, but that's what I like about him. It makes him, he's unique. One thing I can't stand is another cookie cutter cardboard, a version of Jeremy or Odin or Josiah. They all say the same damn video.
I think he
over
adds
again.
to the conversation, and he gets conversations going. And I think if we're going to have a real war council, having someone that identifies as a menace and is trying to get their point of view is important. I just think it is. So I want to keep talking.
Nobody wants 26 of the same videos.
Now, B Level and his crew, I would love if they've joined the Fandom Alliance. And if we have an issue with another Fandom Alliance member, we'll man up and figure it out. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, so if something comes up and B Level has a real problem with something Angus did, we'll say, you know what, we'll hash it out. If maybe we won't have to go live for part of it, we'll discuss it privately and then go live afterwards. I don't know. I mean, these are all things that haven't even happened yet, so we shouldn't stress out about it. Lethal Lightning is here. Oh, great.
I respect B Level's boundaries, but you got to still have a conversation before you shut people down.
I think his critiques of me is be careful. I think you should be careful with everyone on the internet. So I totally agree.
Right.
Everybody, be safe, be careful. You got it.
I still got
if you want a movement to be.
Sorry, Max. I was saying I got an open inbox to everybody. People that we really don't agree with, but if they want to talk, I'm welcome to have a conversation.
Right. So I think you got to, if you have a movement, I think where you got to be grown up is you can't erase half the world because both the world and the country is it's divided. You can't just, people got to live. You got to have a conversation. We can't proactively cancel people before they even done. He's done stuff in the past that I don't like. Oh, well, I think I've talked to him about it. I've done stuff he doesn't like. He still talks to me. If there's someone that's going to still talk to you, you don't say no. That's my thoughts. And then if something comes up, you address it when it comes up. Not today. This was a special request from B Level. Oh, I'm exhausted, man. So
yeah, I am too. I gotta hit the sack here soon. But thanks for having me on, Max, and hail Lethal Lightning.
Oh no, I think we're gonna stream Sunday, so I gotta rest up for that. And I don't know if I'm still doing Midnight Madness. I was trying to end this earlier. Oh boy. Let's kettle Max. Once we go private, then we can Lethal. Matt Jarbo.
And that's.
I'm not cut out for this lifestyle. I did a full day's work and then I was at my family. I'm like,
we're working, man. We got a real job.
You're criticizing Matt. You got a real job too. We just can't. It's hard to do both. That's all.
Just kidding, Matt.
All right. So Snowdub has left. Oh, he's back. Snow, are you there?
Sorry, Max. Yeah, my phone's about to die.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'll see you Sunday.
Yes. I'm staying here just to give them the opportunity to come back after they speak together, which is fair. I am tired though, so thanks for coming on. And This is the difference right here. This is the stuff you're not getting. This is where I really believe we're making a difference. Is not the same old YouTuber BS is ignoring people. I think it's a public service to say, you know what, we tried to work. I tried to talk with the Gray Order, and it went nowhere. I mean, it still could, but it's the response I got on Twitter is he's more than willing to. I'm sorry. All right, sorry. Bye. Bye, Snowdub. All right, the response that I got on Twitter yesterday was lame. I mean, he's willing to talk to me then when he's upset, but it just a little response back. We'll talk about it maybe or something. All right. You live in the John Wick's book. It's not too high of a pedestal, but it's better than some trash nowadays. Relapse. This is a true fan involvement. Long live the Alliance. Hell yeah. Max should be Australian. Okay, I'd like that. Oh, and Snowdub is finally gone. I'm alone. I'm waiting alone. You see how tired my eyes are? Oh my God, I'm so tired right now. Thank you for giving the Council and Exile a chance, Luke Warren. No problem, brother. This is what it's about. I always have time for you. I have time for everybody. That's the difference. Look at, you can tell my eyes are tired. Look at that. Here. All right, B-Level says he's ready to come back. Tricon 40, you have us. Thank you for the support. Fury Road is trash. That's Lethal Lightning. I'd have you on, Lethal, but I kind of want to, after I hear what they have to say, I kind of want to end it on, I'd like to end it on a positive note. And B-Level is back. Let's get his thoughts. Okay.
Hey, what's up?
B-Level, you're back.
So we had a lightning chat. I'm not giving points to Lethal Lightning, by the way, but I'm just saying we had a lightning fast chat.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Dark Zenobia wasn't in, so I talked with some of our confidants. And wait. Crap, Dark Zenobia is back. Okay, I gotta hop off again. I want to get his input. I really want to get his input.
All right.
Give me another 5 minutes. Sorry.
Okay. All right, got to give them their time. My dog's upset. What are you doing? Madman, you're good. It's just B-Level Willie's reviews, Dark Zenobia. They have some reasons to, though, the CJH. They're not, no one's that innocent in fandom. I think we all got to man up and agree. Fight the dog on, I'm not fighting my dog. I know I like him though. I'm odd myself. I'm an odd guy, so he adds to the conversation. You want interesting conversation, this is where you come to. I think that he adds to the conversation, even if you disagree with him. I think he's an important voice, and I think they all are. I think to have a successful war council, you need opposing opinions. I'm not Lethal. I'm not fighting my dog on stream. I like B-Level too. Yeah. Oh, great. That's what you... We're all eagerly anticipating B-Level to come back. And I might as well talk about plans this weekend. I think I'm going to watch the not the War Council. That's what I'm doing. The Gray Council's live stream on Sunday. I'll try to be in the chat and say, hey, I'm here if you want to talk. I'm not going to provoke them. I'm just going to say, I'm right here, brother. So, and then I do want to do a stream Sunday about The Mandalorian episode 4. I wanted to, has anyone watched The Irishman yet? I wanted to watch, honestly, this is keeping me from watching some good content with The Mandalorian episode 4 and The Irishman. I've been wanting to watch that. The CJH, this is the type of thing that we can hash it out in the War Council if there's something that you really disagree with. Of course we do. Hail War Campaign. Okay. Well, did you like it, Lethal? I'm really looking forward to watching it. I haven't had time yet. I heard it's long. Without giving spoilers, Lethal, did you watch Mandalorian episode 4 and did you like it? Because I haven't watched it yet. Please don't give spoilers, though. Please don't give spoilers. Hail War Campaign. You know, I wanted to have War Campaign on the War Council in the past. So, yeah, you're welcome, CJH. It's hard waiting for streams. I fall asleep waiting for streams. Honestly, it's just Goodfellas. Okay. Well, that's not a bad thing, though. Oh, you haven't even watched it yet. Okay. Then I'll be interested. I'll want to watch your review then. When you have your review up, send me. Notify me, or I'll look at my notifications because I am subscribed to Lethal Lightning. And if you haven't yet, go check them out. I'd actually be very interested to see your review because you haven't watched it yet. So I've seen so many other reviews. I'm going to check my Twitter. The Den of Nerds hearted Dark Loogie's tweet. I really want, just so you know, I really want 2nd Street to be in the War Council as well. I know he's not going to be Fandom Alliance, but I think he is an important voice in fandom. I think he gives the Grey Order perspective, and Trinity is sexy as hell. I think you can agree with that, Lethal. And I think the biggest problem with the Grey Order is they're not sexy. You make Trinity your spokesperson, maybe you'll get some traction. Darth Loogie isn't doing it for me, okay? And neither is the Nerd Den. Oh, no problem, Snowdub. I think we're all dying a little bit inside on this stream. I'm so tired, man. You know I'm doing this because I love you guys, because streaming is hard. Troy Seaward, I really like the 4th episode of Mandalorian. Ooh, yes. You know what? You're running out. Okay, B Level's back. I was just gonna say you're running out of time based on that comment. Okay, B Level is back. All right, B Level, it's your time. Time to shine.
So I wanted to say first, thank you very much for having me on your stream. You know, I just want to appreciate it. Just like when you came on our stream a month ago and talk real stuff out. You know, very few people in the fandom will do that. And mad points to you as always. Mad points to your buddy Snowdub as well. I just met him today, and he had, you know, and also thanks to CJG for coming on to, you know, drop some wisdom. I think this is a really great chat, a really constructive chat. I think we were able to talk about a lot of our, you know, qualms and stuff, and you know, you have laid out like a plan for the Fandom Alliance that we can now consider. The way it stands right now, we actually don't have a consensus decision with the Council in Exile. about what we want to do.
Well, here's what you could do. Join us in a stream in the future, and you don't have to commit to anything, and then just talk it out, and then see how it goes. That's all.
Yeah, and like we were saying too, like we had a plan that we wanted to talk to Fandom Alliance, talk to the Grey Order, talk to both, and build something. And here's the thing: Fandom Alliance embraced us. Grey Order ridiculed us. Like Grey Order lambasted us for wanting to talk. And both movements talked about the idea of being open, and you were open to us. And you let me talk about Antifa for like 5 minutes and like politics.
I know. I was actually I was like, oh, come on, B-level. You're killing me here, bro.
and very few people, I can't imagine, unless it's like Ewoks Unhinged, very few people in fandom would let me do that. So I really appreciate that, giving my wild examples. I genuinely like talking to you, Max. I really do.
We want everybody. So there you go.
Anyway, thank you, the Fandom Menace Slayer. I'm sure this is gonna get downvoted a ton just because
that's nothing new. That's nothing new on my channel.
Yeah. And maybe CJH and someone from the council can have a debate sometime at War Council. That'd be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I would love
CJH versus CJG. That would be a cage match indeed.
This is the type of thing that we can accommodate on the War Council. And here's the thing: me, Snowdub, and Chubby Teddy will try to keep things civil.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I appreciate the comment. Also, one input that I did have when we were talking, because you preface things that like War Council is going to be different than the Alliance, and I think one thing that could be pretty beneficial is if you really level that War Councils are like debates, like call it like War Council debates, and put that in the title so people know automatically not everybody agrees if we're going to have some hot-headed conversations.
That's fair
everybody thought this was going to be a picnic tonight. We had fun. But this is no picnic. So thank you, Max. We're going to strongly consider everything you've said. I hope likewise you consider what we said and some of the optical things. We can talk more later and keep that conversation going. And I just want to do this for for the people following, Exile and stuff, and Nax, and shout out, thanks everyone for Max's people for listening to this crazy dude talk for and I'm talking about myself. I guess we're both crazy dudes, but
I am
for a couple hours, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving us the platform.
No problem. Anytime, anybody. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, maybe you could have Dark Sinovia on another time or something like that. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about our Jeremy collab.
I will be in that car as a Force ghost.
Oh, all right.
Guiding you. This is
Let's
the way.
take it to the road, Warriors.
Let's do it. May the Force be with us all.
Yeah, so I think this is where we'll end it then. I appreciate the talk. If anyone else wants to reach out to the Fandom Alliance, this is the difference. You talk, you want to talk, we listen. Snowdub is open ears. He loves talking to people. So does Chubby Teddy. Chubby Teddy was here at one point. I think he had to go. But we have plans for Sunday. Stay tuned for Sunday when we're going to have a War Council. And I think this is where I'm going to end it. Good night, everybody. Get some sleep.